family for 100 years, 50 acres. So it's quite an achievement. So.
And I think it's happened a couple of times over the years that we've had a sesquicentennial farm here in Rice County. That's 150 years. Isn't that cool? We were just recognizing some of the conservation award recipients, and whoever said we don't care for our land, because we want to leave it in the family, leave it better for the next generation. So Randy, let's start with recognizing the Century Farms in Rice County.
Yeah, we have Harvey, Edel, and here yet? Are they here?
There they are, they're back there. Come on up. Who would like to be the spokesperson for the family? Harvey. Harriet keeps pointing to Harvey. Hi, good to see you. Thank you for coming to the Rice County Fair. Harvey, could you briefly tell us just a little bit about your farm and how you and Harriet ended up there?
Well, we have livestock and crops and harvests and stuff, and still live there. And we're married 60 years, and so 59 years of farming.
And it sounds like it's been a team effort in 60 years. Louise and I will be celebrating a 40th wedding anniversary this fall. I guess we better keep working at it for a while yet, right, Harriet?
Hearing you always on the radio keeps me alive.
And if these are my friends, would you like to meet my enemies? Well, we like to laugh a lot and have fun. And it's a relationship that you have with your listeners when you become friends. So Harvey, Harriet, congratulations. If you would go over there and get your picture taken. And Randy has a presentation. Maybe you can hold that. A proud sign to put at the end of your driveway, and then the plaque. And family, if you'd like to go over and get your picture taken with them and take pictures, feel free to help yourself too. Okay, Randy, who else do we have here to recognize Century Farm in Rice County?
We have Marvin Edel. Marvin Edel?
I thought it's on here. Come on up.
My wife Andrea.
And how are you guys going to top the last characters? We got some real comedians over there, don't we? They ought to get a job in radio.
They live right close to us.
Oh boy. I think we're in trouble. Has there been some colluding going on here in Rice County? Marvin, could you tell us a little bit about your farm?
Yes, my grandpa homestead. I bought it in 1914, and my dad bought it back in 1948. 48, I think he bought it, and I bought it in 1971. In 1958, I bought the farm right across the road from the home place, and that's where we live. In contact, my dad lived on the earth till he died in 1975.
And you really feel attached to that land too, don't you?
Oh, you do. Yes, you do.
And I think, in my experience, I lost my dad. Will be 2 years ago this fall. I think I'm more attached to land now after my dad's gone than when it was when my dad was here. Did you find that too, Marvin?
It is, and my family is very attached to it too. They don't want to see that go, and I want to see it stay in the family too.
Well, let's give the Edels a hand too, and thanks for coming to the Rice County Fair. And thank you for not being corrupted by your neighbors and pick on me more.
No, we get along very good.
Sounds like real.
Thanking everybody that put this presentation on. It's really nice.
Well, tell us a little bit about your farm.
Well, our farm is in the Little Prairie area in Dundas.
And my grandfather George started that years ago. My father Doug and his late wife Amy continued it until I started purchasing it in 2001. Here we are today, and it's just great to be here.
And I bet it means a lot to you to have your son involved in the farm that you've lived on and raised on, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've been there for 81 years, and it's nice to see that it carries on. Yeah.
I bet it's changed over the years too, George, from what you can remember when you were growing up.
Yes, last year we had a big party to recognize the Century Farm, and I had a lot of family from all over come in. And when we brought out all the pictures showing what it used to be, and then the changes from when we had all the livestock and dairy and stuff like that, and the hogs, and what it is now, which is just more just back to the nature and stuff, and still the farm. It's just wonderful.
Well, go over there and get your picture taken. Congratulations to the Littles Century Farm in Rice County. Is that all the Century Farms that you have, Randy?
That's it, I guess. Thank you very much.
And we should mention though, if you think your farm, oh, we do have one more. I thought we had one more.
Okay, we have Minsky Acres. Oh, there.
It's really cool. The certificate is signed by Kevin Papp, President of the Minnesota Farm Bureau. So, Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself, Dan, and your farm, obviously. That's why we're here, right?
The farm is a couple miles north of Morristown, and my grandparents.
Is that near North Morristown, Dan? I've heard of North Morristown.
It's the Almonds Gun Shop.
I know where that is. I didn't know there was a North Morristown until I started coming to Faribault.
And bought it in 1916 by my grandparents. And then my mom was born there and grew up there, and she passed away last year. So now it's my brother and I, and my son is living on the farm. So there's still some original buildings there yet. I started out as a dairy farm, egg, chickens, you know, the
A
whole.
little bit of everything back then.
That's right.
But tell us a little bit more about the family that we raised on the farm. Did you have a son there now?
His mother lived there her whole life, and then the two boys were raised there. Yeah, but now our son lives there.
Cool. I always say the most important thing that we raise in rural Minnesota isn't food, it's children. The kids that carry on to become leaders in their community. So let's give Dan Minsky a hand for being recognized Century Farm over there close to Morristown. I just want to quickly mention, if you'd like to see if your farm would qualify.
Not yet. A few more years.
No, but I mean somebody that's listening or here today, how they would maybe check it out.
Oh, well, yeah, you just go online and go to the farmbureau.com, and they'll have areas on that, or you can go through the extension service too.
Cool. And then maybe we can recognize you here next summer at the best of the best. Thank you, Randy, and let's thank the Rice County Farm Bureau again for helping organize all this. And
thank you.
Randy Hanson, the president of the Rice County Farm Bureau. Steve, come on back up here. We just want to briefly mention it's a new program, the Minnesota Agriculture Water Quality Certification Program. When I first heard about this, Steve, kind of reminded me of something. I'm dating myself now. I remember the River Friendly Farmer Program.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of similarities to that program. Yeah, absolutely. The Water Quality Certification Program, like Jerry said, is new. It's been around about a year. And we've been encouraging folks to sign up if they're interested. It's actually through the Minnesota Department of Agriculture. But interested, how it works is you sign up and then someone comes out to your farm. They review every field that you farm, whether it's owned or rented. They look at the soil erosion rates. They look at how much fertilizers and nutrients you're putting on. Look at a whole wide parameter of things. And once you pass the base levels, you can become certified. And now what that certification does for you is it basically exempts you from any new state laws that come up for another 10 years. So that's kind of nice. It also makes you eligible for a dedicated pot of money through the federal NRCS EQIP program. So, and you also get a higher percent cost share. So there's some real good reasons to do it.
We have a number of farms in Rice County that have already been certified.
Yeah, and I'd just like to mention those this morning. We have Robert Dubon, Brent Fuchs, James Jurek, James Purfist, Harvey Reynolds, the Summers Farms, and Steve Trinka.
Well, let's give them a hand. We like to give families recognition when they're out there being a leader because they are portraying a very nice and good public image by promoting conservation. Right, Steve?
That's absolutely right.
Steve, well, we have another special award before we get to the Hall of Fame. Claire LeCan is an extension educator in Rice and Steele County. And Claire, why don't you explain a little bit about this special Milk Quality Award, very prestigious here in Rice County.
Yeah, Minnesota Dairy Herds with Superior Cow Care is recognition through the Minnesota Department of Agriculture that recognizes dairies that have low somatic cell counts under 100,000. So that indicates quality milk. And this year we had throughout Minnesota, we had one farm in Rice County that had Superior Cow Care, and that was Kathy and Randy Bauer and their son Glenn. And I don't think they're here today, but let's give them a round of applause.
One more interesting note about Randy and Kathy. Ed Terry is here. Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, but Randy and Kathy received an American Farmer degree, and I believe then their children, Glenn, received the American Farmer degree too, which is pretty unusual for parents, and then both parents and both children receiving the American Farmer degree, so that's really cool. So let's give another hand. The only farmer a few miles east of Faribault, so maybe they can hear the name. I'd like to call now on Greg Bongard, who's the president of the Faribault Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee. I've mentioned that quite often, so I wanted to bring Greg up and just explain a little bit about what we do and some of the big projects that we do in addition to this Hall of Fame program here at the Rice County Fair to educate and promote agriculture. And I think you'll notice a theme here. We partner and work a lot together to promote agriculture.
Thank you, Jerry. We certainly do partner. And I want to thank this large, good crowd coming this morning. And I want to just say that our Ag Business Committee has become more and more active, and we're always looking for new people, inviting and to join into the fun. And part of the Ag Business Committee, we host the Best of the Best, which is today, the Family Day at the Farmers Market, and the annual Farm Business Luncheon. Normally we held that in November, but we've decided to do it in March of this coming year to eliminate some of the conflicts with weather and trying to get farmers to come to that luncheon. So put that on your calendar. It's going to be March 20th on National Ag Day. The biggest project that we do is the Ag in the Classroom, where we go to the third grade classrooms along with later on taking them visits on the farm. And I want to thank the committee members and the farmers who volunteered to do that. Names, I had to write it down because, as an example, one time I substituted for the township clerk, and I had to tell people to talk a little slower so I could keep up with it. But the farmers I want to thank are Randy and Kathy Bauer, Keller, Nate and Shannon Kubal, and Doug and Barb Story. So if you want to congratulate them and give them a round of applause. And the volunteers and the sponsors that make this all happen, they recognize Cargill Cares with Jim Nelson and Matt Purfees. Cargill has been giving us a grant covering the books, supplies, and the busing for quite some time now. And we'd like to have those two come up and just say a word.
It is so cool because after we visit these kids in the classroom, thanks to Cargill Cares and the cooperation again, the partnership I mentioned, early in the spring, we are to bus all of these kids. We are able to bus them out to a farm. And last time I checked, we don't live in downtown Chicago or major metropolitan area, but you would be amazed when you ask these kids, when you go into a classroom, there are actually very few of them that have actually even been on a farm. And we aren't in a major metropolitan area, so that's why it's so cool that we can work together with Cargill Cares and not only go into the classroom, but then also get these kids out to a farm. So Jim, special thanks to Cargill Cares. I assume Cargill Cares is like the foundation arm of Cargill, correct? The giving back part?
Well, that's exactly right. So obviously Cargill is, has a good footprint here in the Faribault area. The grain division buys grain here in this area, and so we want to support this area. And so one of the ways we support the area is to support the community. So just what you said was a lot of people, you think of this as an agricultural town, but yet there's lots of people that don't know anything about agriculture. So to be able to start third graders and to teach them about agriculture and to let these children come out to the farm and see what agriculture is all about and let them come home and tell their parents about agriculture, that's huge. And so it has huge ripple effects, we believe. So we want to support that kind of a thing. So Cargill Cares has twofold. So our local elevators, which is up in Savage, we donated some of this money, and then corporate Cargill matched some of this money as well. So other Cargill gave some, and the local elevator, which is in Savage, gave some of this money as well. So we're very proud to provide all of the funding for the books and the support materials for this program, and we've done this for several years in a row. We just think it's a huge impact in the local community.
Thank you, Jim and Matt, for doing that.
Well, yeah, what else you say? Hold the check up.
$6,650.
Let's give a hand. While they're making their way back, by the way, go over there, get your pictures taken with the official photographer. You can go to it. I just wanted to briefly mention what we do because I see Brent Fuchs is here. Brent does a lot of that classroom visits with me. We went out to the local grocery store and bought things that the kids would recognize, from pop and cornflakes and just everything that they would recognize, and we take it into the classroom. And then we start with a little bag of corn and soybeans. Relate to those third graders then about everything that comes from corn and soybeans. And actually, I challenge you, next time you're in the grocery store, look at the ingredient list. Take your reading glasses along if you have to, like I do. And you will be amazed at how many different food products you will recognize that have corn and soybeans in them. And we don't get into any controversy. These are only third graders. We don't talk about the GMO, non-GMO. We just try to relate food in the grocery store to corn and soybeans. And thanks to our partnership with the Faribault Chamber of Commerce through the Agribusiness Committee, that gave us the in. And if nothing else, the credibility and reputation of the chamber, so the schools were more than willing to let us in. And then we've been able to run with it since. And then thanks to Cargill Cares, and we can bus all of these kids out and actually see a farm. We think it's a worthwhile program. Sometimes you wonder at everything you hear in the media how disconnected consumers are from agriculture. You think, well, what difference are we making? Well, we get to a couple hundred third graders every year just here in Faribault, and then we have a program in surrounding communities. Others have taken charge of that, like Kevin Eastrom. So we get to a lot of kids. You don't conquer the world one sweep at a time. You conquer the world one step at a time. And that's the way we look at it, the partnership with the Faribault Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee. Is John Dvorak still here, or did he run away on us? Well, apparently then we'll move on. When John shows up again, we have another word. So let's move on then to the agriculture Hall of Fame. Yes. Oh, is he out there? Where's John? Oh, talk about good timing. Hurry up, John. Let's see if an old guy can move fast. This is a program, an award that the Rice County Fair Board started last year. Oh, 1 minute to a break. John, take your time coming up here. So right after the break for the news at the top of the hour, we will have a special presentation of a friend of the Rice County Fair, and then the biggie, the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame will recognize the past 10-year inductees and then this year's inductees here at 45 seconds, he tells me. By the way, it's a good thing you always have a sponsor list. You always have something. Thanks. A smart